Zero-day vulnerabilities are so dangerous, they brought a company like Sony to heel. 55 zero-day vulnerabilities were exploited in 2022. 1 year prior, that number was 81. But what are they exactly, and what's the difference between the two? Zero-day versus one-day vulnerabilities. Zero-day vulnerabilities refer to a software exploiter bug that needs a patch. Hackers often use these bugs to steal sensitive information before you even notice it. Zero-day vulnerabilities have different forms, and they can pop up as SQL injection, missing authorization, missing data encryption, and buffer overflows. Additionally, zero-day vulnerabilities can also come as URL redirects, password security issues, and broken algorithms. After identifying issues in hardware and software, developers must fix the problem immediately with a patch. However, they are not always successful at identifying these flaws. Typically, developers use this term to say that they've had no time, as in 0 days, to resolve the issue before cybercriminals act on it. The key word here is time. As soon as someone notices the problem, the zero-day vulnerability becomes a one-day vulnerability. When people detect a security issue with the program, they inform the software company to fix it. The issue was detected, and now it's a race between the hackers and the developers. The first group wants to exploit sensitive data. The second wants to create a patch for the breach. Equifax's one-day vulnerability. The most severe one-day vulnerability example is the Equifax data breach. It exposed terabytes of sensitive data. As a result, the credit reporting company put over 145 million people's personal information at risk. The data breach essentially exploited the Apache framework, which is a famous web application tool. And things got worse when Equifax didn't patch this one-day vulnerability, even though the patch was available 2 months before the attack. Microsoft and Sony's zero-day vulnerability. In the case of zero-day attacks, the Microsoft Office breach made a lot of headlines back in 2017. Specifically, it exposed MS Office rich text format documents and allowed threat actors to execute visual scripts with PowerShell commands. Microsoft also faced another zero-day data exploitation that came with encapsulated PostScript that dissuaded the platform from identifying, alerting, and addressing malware infections. Sony became a direct victim of exploitation back in 2014. It compromised the company's entire IT network and infrastructure, which led to severe data breaches. When Sony caught the breach, it was too late. Their movies had already been posted online. The leaked data also involved information about new films, the email addresses of Sony executives, and the company's core business strategies. Which is worse? Zero-day vulnerabilities are far more severe than one-day vulnerabilities. In fact, cybercriminals use black markets to share zero-day vulnerability data without official disclosure. Zero-day vulnerabilities are more serious because of their underlying damage in the long run. These vulnerabilities have become highly advanced and can involve state-sponsored efforts that launch and exploit threats to infiltrate targets. Why zero-day vulnerabilities aren't patched fast enough? Here are the 5 reasons zero-day vulnerabilities aren't patched on time. Number 1. Lack of awareness. Number 2. Lack of coordination and ineffective testing. Number 3. Patching a vulnerability is a meticulous process that requires allocated time and resources. Number 4. Maintaining competitive advantage and refusal to disrupt the flow of access and information. Number 5. Delays in vendor communication. Consequences of unpatched vulnerabilities for your business. The long-term consequences of unpatched vulnerabilities include lawsuits, a tarnished image, financial losses, and data breaches. There have been many cases where it took companies years to regain the trust of their users and recover financial losses. What should you do? Now that you know what's the difference between a zero-day and a one-day vulnerability, how do you keep your systems and software protected? Simply look out for the latest patches and updates of the systems you use in your business to elevate your defenses.